All right, so now we are on lesson 39 of Digital Marketing 2, the last lesson for week 13. So this is the last lesson for today, where we are going to continue with the case study application on strategic framework. So we have been discussing theories since last week, looking at how you utilize existing models like the DIAO, how you utilize existing models like the TCEO. And now we are going to be looking at videos to actually witness how these models are being used in the market, how non-brands are using these models without necessarily telling us that this is the model that they are using. We can actually see that there are some elements into it that they are using the models that we are doing in class. For example, we had a look at Sanlam in the previous lesson, and we saw how Sanlam is applying the DIAO model, utilizing emotions on funeral planning and funeral arrangements, the hardships that typical consumers go through whenever someone sadly passes away. So that's how they utilized the DIA model. They took advantage of the emotions that comes with it and capitalized on how you then trigger customers to join a funeral policy and pay for a monthly premium so that they do not have any complications should someone pass on. So we are going to continue with the DIA mobile sector, the car manufacturing sector, where our focus is going to be on Volkswagen. It's going to be on VW. I'm quickly going to open the link and hoping that it's going to play. Where must I go? All right, same thing, so if you can hear the sound, you just um show some thumbs up. Can you see the screen so far? Okay, let's see if you can hear the sound.
Drop it again. ngaze ngagcina manje esethene nesisi wena ntombi yami ngicela ungihambele uye
Did you get the gist of that, Maiso?
Yeah, I got the gist of it.
So we know that the issue of parts, it's everywhere. As I say, that there are so many fake things out there. So how do you then create something that you want to grab people's attention? It's always difficult to try to grab people's attention, especially in this world where people are not just consuming information to learn, they are also consuming information for entertainment. You know, you want something that is going to create laughter in you, but at the same time entertaining you. I don't know, is that kind of content that you also prefer, or for you it's different?
For me, it doesn't really matter. I just maybe like the introduction of the advertisement may catch my attention
Mm,
because at the end of the day, I think that's the goal for advertisements. Because once you have a good intro, then people are immediately hooked.
that's true. So the first seconds or the first line will actually break or tell whether you are going to like it or not, you know. But for some people like me, sometimes, you know, if there's a bit of a humor, like an entertainment, I'll be like, oh, okay. Now it gets me attention because maybe the whole day I was sad. Now, if it can makes me laugh, then I can engage further with it. But it also depends with someone's mood. What if I'm not in a mood to laugh at all? Like I've got deadlines and stuff like that. Then it becomes something else. But I do understand you. It's always that first line that steals your attention, and if it doesn't, then you are not going to engage with the marketing information. Then we move on. Same thing. I'm not going to spend much further because we discussed this in the previous lesson. But for now, for example, we can look at Volkswagen as a company, how it needs to navigate political, economic, social, technological, legal, and ecological factors, especially looking at that advert. For example, the use of an animal at the beginning. You know, some countries you can be in trouble saying that what permission did you have to shoot that animal? You are violating animal rights. For example, you need to understand these minor things that might end up putting your your brand or your advert in trouble. Sometimes we've seen adverts being banned on social media platforms because they are insensitive to society, or because they are insulting other people's genders, you know, sexuality, or because they are insulting a nation and becomes a political thing, or because they are racist. And sometimes you can also be sued, it becomes a legal matter. You know, think about McGee's podcast, for example, how uh, it raised concerns about what he said about someone else and stuff like that. So it's always crucial to do a personal analysis to understand uh, where the brand stands in terms of its marketing content. But in terms of the brand on its own, like Volkswagen, is it a reputable company that would recognize political factors ecological factors. We know that cars cause emission a lot. The smoke that comes out of cars. What is it that Volkswagen is doing in terms of carbon emissions, carbon monoxide and so forth? Then, of course, you can also do a competitor analysis. Who is a competitor for Volkswagen?
I would assume it's like Ford or Toyota. I'm not really sure about the accurate one, but I think it should be either Ford or
You've got
Toyota.
Toyota. Yeah, it's Toyota. But from a model range, Audi can also feature in there. But it also depends on how you're looking at. So, yeah, we can look at Audi and Toyota. We can look at Ford as well. And you compare how they are doing it well and how the competitors are doing it well versus how Ford on its own, whether it's doing well or not. You can look at the availability of parts, for example. You can look at the prices. You can look at durability. You can look at their campaigns on social media platform, which one has got huge following, which one has got better engagement, which one, has got better KPIs and so forth, which one posts more regularly, because sometimes you realize that your competitor are only posting once a week. You can then capitalize on it and post maybe twice a day, but you need to have enough content to do so. You need to generate more appealing content to do so. But of course, you go through those links and have a look at how you'd actually do consumer analysis, competitor analysis. Then consumers, of course, you can also have a look at different segments. For example, Polo. Which segment is for Polo, according to your opinion?
Wait, sorry, repeat the question, sir.
Which segment is for Polo, VW Polo?
Oh, segment. Well, in terms of segment, I would say it's more for like I would say middle class.
The youth and middle class, there, somewhere there. So yeah, based on that, you'd actually have you'd go, you know, who is likely to consume VW products, Volkswagen products, and what is it that they need? Do they have a need for speed, for example? Some might need speed, some might need convenience, some might want comfort.
I think it's in
You
terms
know,
of oh,
you manufacture a product. I didn't quite hear you. Said it in terms of.
I didn't know you were still talking because it was buffering a bit, so that's why I was.
Can you hear me, my soul?
Yes, I can hear you, but it's just that Your microphone was buffering a bit. I think it's
Okay.
still buffering.
Yeah, internet seems to be a bit slow, and I'm getting a delayed response. So I hope you can hear me. If there's any question or you want to say something, you can always raise the hand.
Okay, so it's fine now.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, although I think it will be delayed on this side, but I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you as well, but I think there's something wrong with the internet. As I was saying, when doing consumer analysis for Volkswagen, you can always try by all means to understand who is Volkswagen's customers and what is it that they like. You find that from your customers. For example, is it a need for speed? Is it comfort? Is it innovation? Or is it all of those elements? Then all of a sudden you see Volkswagen having those items in their cars. They actually look at what is it that people would need on a daily basis when they are commuting. Either they are driving to work or they are driving for fun. You know, you need to understand people's needs and wants. And as usual, you can go to those links and do this exercise on Volkswagen. Then, of course, you need also to develop marketing objectives and KPIs. How do you do it? We saw from that video that there is a concern about fake parts. So one of your digital marketing objectives, of course, would be to raise awareness about the difference between fake and original, especially nowadays whereby fake stuff actually look similar to original stuff. So once you have your objectives, you need to tell us the SMART criteria. How specific is that objective? How measurable is it? How achievable is it? How relevant is it? And how long do you want to achieve this campaign? You then look at the KPIs. You know, how are you going to see whether you are achieving your goals or not? Are you going to be tracking comments? Are you going to be looking at the number of impressions, the number of likes? You saw at the end of this video, it actually showed us the KPIs that more than 1 million people viewed the content. And we also saw that with Sanlam video. It showed us at the end of the day how that thing performed in the market. So it's always good to have the KPIs that are actually going to tell you whether you achieved your goals as a brand or you did not achieve your goals at all. Then, of course, you would also use the race model. You know, how are you going to maximize the reach of this campaign? And how are you going to make sure that consumers actually act on this campaign? How are they going to act on this content? How are they going to interact with this content? Then how are you going to convert them into buyers? So they are not just interacting with the content, they are also actually buying original. They're actually buying original parts from your recognized dealerships. And then engage. How do you get them? How do you engage with them whenever they are, for example, brake pads, get worn out? Would you give them discounts? Would you refer them to specific um, dealers? Would you give them some guarantees, like for the next 10 kilometers, uh, 10,000 kilometers, are going to get this and stuff like that. So all that is crucial when doing a race model. So the exercise that we're having, it was actually about how you apply the DIO model, keeping in mind that the D is the define stage, the discover stage, whereby our brains focus on visibility through search engine marketing, through social media, and all other platforms that they could utilize. Then the I for the DIO model, it focuses on interactions. The A focuses on act, and the O focuses on optimizing the campaign. Are there any questions, any comments?
No, sir.
Okay, so that's it for today, for this evening. That's what I had for you. Most of the stuff, of course, as you say, that is too much to digest. You can always take a small bite, time by time. You go to those links, you go through them and see how you can apply the DIAO model, during your spare time. Can you hear me clearly? Because I don't know
Yes,
if
I can, sir.
if my network is accurate or not. Okay. Are there any questions before we call it a night, Maiso?
No question, sir.
All right, then that's it for tonight. And thank you so much for always coming to class. It's greatly appreciated, and I will never underestimate that. So I do appreciate